Our age. Going from corporate to a poet. This is a story of a 70 years of age woman, Rosalind Seveirn, who was in the corporate world for many, many years. She had her own modeling agency. She attended business schools. She raised a daughter by herself. Very strong woman in the world of business, and became, in her later years, in the 2020s during the pandemic, a rising, acclaimed author of beautiful poetry books. Let me introduce Oceans of Thoughts. Rosalind hails from Dominica in the West Indies. She brings her experience in writing these beautiful poetry books as a global basis for others to be inspired and to guide them in their own thoughts and travels as they pursue their own heart's desires. Reading, listening to Rosalind's voice, because she has her own YouTube channel, will be enthralling because she has an elegant and captivating style of delivering her beautiful words. Bear in mind that she is a self-taught poet. Her words bring us to our imagination, to the whole idea that, quite honestly, we can achieve anything. What's important about her poetry is that, yes, she's writing this now in her 70s. She is on her way to her fourth book. The interesting thing about Rosalind is that when I was interviewing her, she told me that her family thought she was a bit loony because even at a very young age, say perhaps around 6, she tells me she was writing all these pretty little words in strings of sentences that to her family made no sense. However, they were what she saw of the world, what she heard of the world, and she was writing it down. She didn't really know what she was doing, but she was writing from her heart's inspiration, which is carried on even today in everything that you hear when you listen to her recite her own words. When she was a young child, there was so much going on, of course, in Dominica to inspire her in this amazing tropical environment. Her mission is to have her books distributed throughout the educational system on recommended reading lists in the universities such as HBCU, in the colleges, and her real dream is to have others share her kind of challenge to continue to produce even at an older age. There's a famous quote that says from Raymond Hollowell that the old and the young alike are entitled to advance. To see the way she inspires people from a global perspective to keep on producing, to keep on creating, is what inspires me the most about her 3 volumes of poetry. I think poetry is so much different from, of course, a novel, any kind of treatise other than poetry, because it does involve us to use our imagination. It does involve us to use our ears and our eyes, because we always look up when we're envisioning something, and that is the captivating part of her voice. On her YouTube channel, you will hear her recite her own poetry. Speaking of which, as she now lives in Queens, New York, you can contact her with her details. Her contact details are on my podcast details, and you can follow her in order to hear her live in person at some of her poetry readings, perhaps at the Y that's so famous, 92 Street Y, because that's really where poetry is meant to be. It's meant to be spoken. It's meant to be listened to. What I find most enthralling about listening to Rosalind is how not only is she captivating physically, she is quite beautiful with her ebony skin. She has an elegance about her, the way she presents herself, the way she carries herself. You can honestly see that her, I believe 30 some odd years she had her modeling agency. You can see that not only did she teach young women and some men how to present themselves in a worldly manner when we are throughout the world every day in our presentations, in our posture, the way that we speak to others. You can tell even now that she has not stepped far away from everything that she taught others and that she learned herself when she was living at an earlier age in New York. She's a captivating person. Her poetry is enthralling. I strongly suggest you listen to her YouTube channel. If you are in the New York area, you find out that she's going to do a reading or a book signing, absolutely a must. Remember, as Raymond Hollowell says, that the old and the young alike are entitled to advance. On all of my podcasts for At Our Age, the mission is to help people learn that people from 65 up until their 80s or 90s, we are still thriving community. We contribute to the world economy. We continue to our own communities to be healthy and vibrant. We don't need to be in a rocking chair just whiling our hours away, daydreaming about our younger days. Here's Rosalind at 70, really doing something with her life to inspire other lives also. Therefore, at the end of every podcast, in my details, I will have something on Discover, which will have all of Rosalind's information, her contact. We'll also have a section on adventure, and that this year is going to be this episode is going to be on Nalo Life. This is a membership travel company that is not just about booking hotels and booking airlines, but it's also about sports and entertainment. And as the gentleman who introduced me to it, Brian, it is about net, which means you're just going to save money. Bottom line, as long as you love doing your own curated travel adventure, whether it be sports, entertainment, airlines, hotels, this is a wonderful way to curate your own vacation. Try it for Disneyland, because we know Disney, whether you're in California with Disney World or here in Florida, it's vastly expensive, costs thousands of dollars for a family. I would suggest you just sign up for 1 month. There's no contract. There's no fee other than the monthly fee. No additional fees are incurred, net. There's always going to be something about guidance. Right now, I'm just simply putting on my mini courses for helping people manage their anxiety through public speaking. Once again, to wrap this up, follow Rosalind she's on Instagram, she's on Facebook, she's everywhere. But follow her poetry, because really at the age of 70, she is living the life that I think all of our seniors should be pursuing, creating and improving the lives of others. Check out the podcast details for all of her contact information under Discover. Check out the Nalo Life under Adventure. And if you know someone who needs to manage their anxiety when making presentations, my mini course is listed there also. Merci, au revoir.